right, welcome into week 11 of Tribune Sports Live, presented by Dobbs Ford. Johnny, this is our last week of the regular season.
It is.
We've been doing this a couple of years, I guess, and I cannot believe how fast this season has gone by.
Yeah, correct. They say time flies when you're having fun, I guess.
And it has been fun.
And they also say time flies the older you get.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of we're a little bit old. So, a little bit of housekeeping notes. Last week, we were not live. We had internet failure here at the Tribune. We should be live right now. Our fabulous producer, Tyler, is telling us that we do have internet connection. So just a reminder, you can see Tribune Sports Live on YouTube, on the Trussville Tribune's Facebook page, trussvilletribune.com, and then what is not live is Vimeo. So 4 different places where you can check Tribune Sports Live. We are going to talk football.
Yep.
We've always got to talk football.
Yeah.
So last Thursday, it was Tribune Thursday Night Lights, which my autocorrect on my phone kept wanting to go to Friday. But
too.
We had our 4 teams that will not be in the playoffs in action.
Mm-hmm.
And then coming up this Friday, we've got Leeds, Moody, Clay, and Hewitt all in first-round games of the playoffs. So it's not only going to be football tonight. No. We've got Springville girls basketball in, and we've got Clay-Chalkville boys basketball in.
Exactly.
So let's transition over to football, and let's talk about the playoffs. I think you've got a few interesting facts, tidbits.
Yeah, John and I talk often about how blessed we are to have the 8 teams that we cover: Centerpoint, Springville, Moody, Leeds, Clay, Pinson, Shades Valley, and Hewitt. I have to count those on my hands because I always forget one. I usually can do 7, but
I understand.
The TV gods got my back tonight. So anyway, we always talk about how blessed we are to cover all these teams, and we always have such not only just great coaches and players to cover, but they're good at what they do. Yeah. We've always got playoff teams in every sport. So I wanted to go back in time a little bit. We just mentioned that we've got 4 teams in the playoffs this year, which is actually kind of a down year for us.
It is.
And half of our teams are now, and it's a down year.
It is a down year.
So I want to go back a little bit, though, because every year prior to this, for the last 4 years before this, we've had more. 2024 last year we had 5. 23 we had 7 of our 8 teams in the playoffs. 22 we had 6, and 21 we had 5 teams. So these teams for the most part made runs in the playoffs. It wasn't just a playoff
deep
thing.
runs. It's not first round one and done.
Yeah. Some of them were, but for the most part they went deep in the playoffs. And I know the expectation of all the coaches out there and the expectations of us. That number 4 for this year will grow next year.
There's no doubt.
I feel certain we'll have more than that next year. But I think it's interesting to look in a down year, having half of our teams that we cover in the playoffs for football. And I'll probably be doing the same thing for basketball and baseball in the future, just to kind of point out to everybody how great these 8 schools are that we cover.
Tribune Land is... It's a pretty special place, you got to say. We get to cover we got a studio full tonight. This is like 3 weeks in a row. Fans show up. We've got great action. And I think just to piggyback on what you're talking about, yes, we do have 4 teams in there this year. But we have teams that are legitimate contenders for the 7A, the 6A, and the 5A title. So 100%. We'll see what that looks like.
Yes, sir.
All right. I know everybody is probably thinking they went online, they cast their fan vote. We got to tell them who it is because they're wondering why we haven't announced it yet. So, in the Tribune Sports Live fan poll Players of the Week, on the offensive side of the ball, we had John Ford of Centerpoint, and on the defensive side of the ball, we had Owen Randall of Moody. Now, we're doing things a little bit different, so if anybody has gone out and seen the fan poll, you see it's not player-centered this time. We threw you guys a little bit of a curveball. So this week, the fan poll, you're getting to pick the games of the week, and what you're going to see your choices are: Opelika at Hewitt in 7A, Jackson Olin at Clay-Chalkville in 6A, and then a couple of games in 5A. Corner, Moody, Leeds, and Briarwood. So go online. The poll will be open. We always say until about 5 p.m. Thursday. It may not appear until sometime Friday morning. So figure out how that goes. So, all right. So let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
night under the lights.
Your hometown heroes are ready to deliver another big win.
And just like the team on the field this year, Dobbs Ford is ready to deliver a big performance this season.
Whether you're hauling a camper, driving a family vehicle, riding around in a Bronco with the top down, Dobbs Ford is going to give you the best price, the most for your trade, and the best customer service.
At Dobbs Ford,
We're proud to support our local teams.
and our local families.
So come see us.
All right, welcome back in. Okay, Johnny, we always are big fans of Bodines.
Yeah.
So we're not only going to have one segment, we're actually going to have two
That's
Bodine
right, we
segments. So give me an update. When's the last time you saw Tina? What's been going on with this?
well-
It looks like it's been trimmed up a little bit.
No, it hasn't. It's actually been it's been 2 weeks tomorrow. Miss Jessica did it last time, but I'll be in Miss Tina's chair Thursday night. So
All right, there you go.
getting it tightened up, for playoffs.
That's it. All right, so Bodine's Classic Cut in Color. We always joke about it. It's right down here in Trussville. It's one out in Hoover. Segment one is Coach Warren House of Springville, ladies basketball coach. Is this your 30th year?
Well, I don't keep up with those years. Let's see. I started the girls in 96, 97 season. So.
Wow. Great run.
My goodness.
Well, you were our Tribune girls basketball coach of the year last year. You took your Lady Tigers to the Elite Eight. Big run. So talk a little bit about what your expectations are for this year.
Well, we graduated a few players, 2 to be exact, and we have a big core coming back. And several of these girls have been with me for a long time. They've been growing up at the varsity level. They might have had to go to it a little early, but they know what to expect. And we have some high expectations for the year. It's just hopefully we can fill those expectations.
Yeah. Well, you brought 3 girls in off your team, Gabby Allison, Leah Bowden, and Olivia Carroll. Welcome in, girls.
Welcome in, girls. Talk about playing for Coach House, and just start at one end and work your way across. Talk about playing for Coach House, somebody who's I've heard him referred to as Mr. Springville. He does a lot there at the school. Just talk about playing for him.
Okay. Well, I started playing for him sophomore year, so I haven't been with him a lot, but the times that I have, I would really say he's brought a lot of hard work ethic into this and really focused on us and our playing abilities, and even individual as well, not focused on team but also individual and getting better.
Yeah, so I got pulled up at the end of my 8th grade season, so I've been up here for a little bit, and just playing for Coach House, he's just always pushing us to just give us our best, and he's just made us come together as one, and he just describes things so much in detail and just helps us to grow together.
I got pulled up at the end of my 7th grade year, and I've played for Coach House for a while now, and he tries to make us get better every day, and we work hard to do that at practice.
Coach, talk about somebody that's been there for a long time. You see the revolving door of kids coming in and out. You've seen it a lot in your. How do you keep things fresh for these girls?
Well, for me, like this year, even though all 3 of them have been starters at one point in time over the last 3-4 years, maybe 5, we're changing things this year. We've changed we played man last year, and we're kind of changing the style from this, where earlier in their career we were a zone pressing team, and doing that, you have to pay attention to detail, so it sort of stays fresh. And so we put in some new concepts on the defense, and we're changing the offense a little bit, so all that keeps it fresh and all. So we'll see. And they're doing a pretty good job catching on. We're a little behind, but that's okay with the new concepts. It'll all work out.
Yeah. One thing that struck me as the girls were talking, they seem to have all been pulled up, 7th grade, 8th grade.
Yes.
Talk about your relationship with the middle school and how you're getting these girls ready. It's almost like a pipeline.
Yeah, this year we've got our coach down there, she actually played for me.
Okay.
All right, so she knows
She
knows
it.
what's expected. She's able to pass that mentality on. When we've had other coaches come in, I always go down and work with them and try to be at tryouts and as much during the summer as possible. And then Coach Taruk, who's the JV coach, he went to school at Springville, and he knows what I want, expect down there. And he was the middle school coach for several of these, and then we changed the coach out and then went down and taught. So they understand, and sometimes they come up and they practice with us from time to time, and they get it. It's an eye opener for them. So all of that helps to get them ready. And sometimes you have to have young kids come up. They're physically ready. Sometimes you're low on numbers. You need extra. So we've been fortunate to always have some younger kids that have been able to come up and help us out.
Yeah.
Girls, talking to Coach House, he's pretty mild-mannered in here talking to us. I just want to know of maybe one time that you've been yelled at by Coach House.
I remember he would, or he still does, but yells at me a lot for probably dribbling too much, trying to do fancy stuff, not simple to the core. That's really what he yells at me for.
Mine is, I remember we were playing Moody, area championship. It was like right before halftime, the buzzer goes off, and I'm guarding Serenity, and she shoots a deep three, and I foul her, she makes it, and he chewed me out.
Mine was when I miss my shots, like that's where I get yelled at the most.
Yeah. Well, he's coaching because he cares.
That's right, 100%. 100%.
Well, we talked about, we think it's 30 years. We're not exactly sure. But just the long tradition. And you talked about how you have former players that are coaching below you at the middle school and stuff. Do you have still a lot of the students that you coach to come around and be involved and get notes or emails periodically?
I have a few, but a lot of times, like, some of them have moved off.
Yeah.
Some of them, their children just weren't interested in basketball and didn't. And when you have kids, and if your kids are playing soccer or baseball or softball and they're not playing basketball, a lot of times with the way people are involved in the club and travel ball, a lot of times there's not a lot. But we have several. I mean, I've got one senior, her mom played for me.
No way.
Her mom's around, and a good bit, and then there's several others. Not as much as I would like to see. I like to see them and just talk to them about how life's going, and not necessarily reliving what we did and all. So
That makes sense. Just for the folks out there who don't know, what all do you do at Springville? I know it's girls basketball and volleyball.
Girls basketball, varsity volleyball, AD, teach 2 different AP science classes, AP physics and AP environmental science, and honors chemistry.
Well, and I will also tell you, he's also game management. I found that out.
That comes in with AD.
Because we had an, we won't talk about that.
Yeah, we won't go in depth.
we
won't go in depth.
That's right. So. Well, you guys made the run to the Elite Eight last year, and that's not your first time. I think that's like maybe your fourth time going to the Elite Eight. Talk about what made that team special, and it seems like that team really gelled late in the year. You had some losses early, but you really put it together late in the season.
They did. Early in the season, we really had a extremely tough schedule. We weren't mainly 6A schools, not that matters. We didn't know how to win those games early, and like I was saying, this year we changed the defense to man. Last year played strictly man, no zone, after all these girls have been playing zone defense and zone press forever, and we went totally away. And it took a while to get all our defense assignments right after playing zone for so long. We started hitting a few shots during the year, had a little bit better on defense. As the year went on, the defense got better and better, although it's never good enough, but it still got better during the year, which did allow us to have a nice run down the stretch.
Yeah.
Back to the girls. So y'all were all on the team last year, the Elite Eight team. So what does it take now to elevate that to get to the Final Four and even a state championship?
I believe really just coming together as a team. We're already such a good team and such a good chemistry wise that I feel like if we continue to put in hard work, we will be that state team.
Yeah, I think when we just walk on the court out there, it's a big arena, so we just need to come out there with our heads in the right spot, not let just the pressure overwhelm us.
Yeah, every time we show up to practice, we just need to try to get better every day and just show up every day.
Yeah. Well, Coach, talk about your schedule that you've got and tell us when your first game is.
Well, our first game's next Tuesday against Briarwood at Springville. Then we're going to, I think it's Then Mortimer Jordan comes to Springville, then Fort Payne. Then during the year, we're going to play a few of our county schools. We're going to play Moody and St. Clair. I'm trying to remember who's before. We're going to finish up the season, though, with Jacksonville, who's a strong 5A team, and go to Fort Payne. We're actually traveling to Orange Beach this year to play in the Orange Beach tournament before Christmas. Looking forward to doing that. It'll be a good experience for us. But it's really a pretty tough schedule. Not a lot of what you'd say, that's a W and that's a W. You're going to have to work hard to get the W's. So I'm comfortable with that type of schedule. I'd rather play a strong schedule than a weak schedule, because if you have a chance to play in the playoffs, you need to play good teams to be able to compete against good teams in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. Well, it is always a pleasure having you on, Coach House. Johnny and I will definitely look forward to following the Lady Tigers this year. Gabby, Leah, Olivia, thank you guys so much for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank y'all. All right. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
All right. Got 1 minute.
That's it. All right, welcome back in. Technology is great when it works, but sometimes it doesn't work. All right, Johnny, you love Bodine's. I'm giving you a second segment.
Yeah,
this segment, Bodine's Classic Cut and Color Coaches Corner, where we're welcoming in head coach Chris Richardson of the Clay-Chalkville boys basketball team. Welcome in, Coach.
How we doing?
We're doing good. Thank you so much for coming in. Good run for your Cougars last year, Elite Eight run. We're not going to talk about that. We know that was a sore subject when we had our end of season show. 22-10, fabulous record for the Cougars. And you've brought in DeMar Hinton, Thomas Tubbs, and Xavier Beavers. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Welcome. All right, Coach, talk about what your 2025-2026 squad is going to look like this year.
I'm very excited about this group. Those three guys over there, they played a vital part on that Elite 18 last year. They all played big roles. DeMar started majority of the games, played a lot of huge minutes, knocked down some big shots in the playoffs to help us advance. Thomas Tubbs came on. He was a starter throughout the playoffs for us. He led us at that point guard role. And Xavier Beavers came in as an 8th grader, and you would have thought that he was a junior or senior out on the floor because the lights didn't faze him at all.
Wow.
So that's kind of the core that we have set up for this year. And most of the guys, I'm very excited because, we live in a day of age to where if kids don't get what they want, they transfer and go elsewhere. These guys, they stayed. A lot of them played on the freshman team, JV team. A lot of them just waited on their roles to advance, and I'm so excited that they get a chance. They're up now, and I think they'll be ready for it.
Yeah. Speaking of them being up, you lost a big core last year. You lost Odari, McKinnon, and there was one more.
Raymond McCants.
McCants. I knew it was a Mac. You lost those 3 guys. You got 3 guys up here potentially that they got some time. Talk about losing those guys and transitioning into this year without them.
Right. So those guys phased out. Those are magnificent players. Now I'm fans of Shelton State, Montevallo, and UAH. So I get to watch some college basketball with some of my guys now. But they're just part of it. You have seniors that graduate and they have to move on, and you just pray that you did a good job with them while they were in your hands. But now that's the next level, and they have to work on things on the next level. And these guys, they learned from those guys. They had to sit behind them, and they shared the floor with them. They seen their work ethic. They seen how they approach the game, and now it's their time to step up in those shoes and perform under the big lights. So
let's go over to the players, guys. Much like I asked the girls at Springville, talk about playing for Coach Richardson. Some of the great things about playing for a program that's had some success under him for the last 5 years, Coach. Talk about playing for Coach Richardson.
Playing for Coach Rich, he's real demanding as a coach. He knows the X's and O's.
Coming up behind the senior starting, it was really coach was really demanding of what he wanted and getting everything done that he needed. Energy, like being lackadaisical and all that, and then that's about it. Coming with energy and
Yeah, like they said, Coach is he real demanding. He's been real demanding since I was a freshman. He come in, he wants stuff done the way he want it done, the way he teaches us is how we're gonna do it.
Yeah. Talk about, and all of y'all can answer, whoever wants to can. Talk about what it was like learning from the 3. I'm sure you have maybe more seniors than that, but the 3 that are actually playing collegiately right now. Great role models to follow, to kind of try to emulate their play and their work ethic. The guys that were there last year.
Just their approach to the game every single day. Like they took it serious, and they pushed us to get better as well.
All right, Coach, talk. Tough region. You always got Pinson there. Last year, the season ended like John said. We don't talk too much about how the season ended. It was a very close game. That was a great basketball game if you were there watching it. Talk about your schedule this year, Pinson included.
Just like always, we'll play a challenging schedule. We'll play a variety of brands of basketball. Some of the teams I named, we start on the road at Tuscaloosa County. We'll go up there Thursday, and that team was in the regionals up at Wallace last year on the 7A level. We'll play Thompson. We'll play Winona, who was in the Final Four last year, 5A. We'll play Hoover, who won state championship. So we'll be battle tested. We did the same thing last year, but you just have to take the season as it goes. You can only play one game at a time. You only can practice one day at a time, and you just have to get a little bit better every day. And you just have to take it, and just hopefully you find on all cylinders once you get to February, and everything's is in sync, and you're ready to make that run. But last year we was 3 points short in the Elite Eight. Well, 1 point short. But you just have to be fine on all cylinders, because it's one night. You can have one bad night, and you're done. So,
yeah. Well, you talked about transfers, talked about kind of the state of high school basketball, high school sports in general. Now that you've really cemented your place at Clay, I mean, over the last 4 years, y'all are clearly getting better, 20-win seasons, going into playoffs deep. Do you find that is a little bit easier to retain kids? They're buying into the process, and maybe you're having kids kind of like, hey, I'd like to, we're moving for whatever reason. I mean, I guess longevity and success, that's really helping the problem that we're seeing out there.
That's a huge part of it. I would like to believe that, athletes play the game to win. They want to win. But that's not the case with everybody. So winning definitely helps us keep people in place. But with me, I just think it's, sports is one of those things to where these guys you're responsible for instilling a lot of values in them. Character building is a huge thing. So I think if you're playing in sports, it's like all those guys mentioned, that it's very demanding. But I think that with the demanding program, you demanding work ethic, you demanding teamwork and accountability. It's so much you have to instill in these young men, because they're gonna graduate high school and they're gonna go to college, or they're gonna go into the work field. Some of them will be fortunate enough to play college basketball on the next level, but majority of them are not. So I think that's very, very important. And I think some kids just choose to go play elsewhere for other reasons. But I think the ones that stay at Clay-Chalkville, I think those are some high character guys that we instill. And if you play every minute or you don't play a minute at all, like all of them have a very, very, very big place in my heart. So,
Coach, talking to each one of these guys, and you've said it, the word demanding. Talk about just kind of where that philosophy comes from, being a demanding coach and using that terminology yourself.
Right. I was fortunate enough to play for some great coaches from middle school, well, farther than middle school, from Little League to middle school to high school to the college level. And, when it's time for you to step up as a coach, you take things from different ways you were coached, and then you have your own way. And I just think you have to be demanding. These young men, these young teenagers, grown teenagers, I call them, everybody have their way. But you have to, in order to come together as a team, you have to have somebody that's going to have the way. And you want to have their personalities blended into it, but you definitely have to demand what you need out of them. And I just think that's part of the success that we have at Clay-Chalkville. I think around the way, people know that they're going to be tough, they're going to work hard, and they're going to be high character guys.
Yeah. So guys, what's the one hot button thing that y'all can do in practice or in a game, the one mistake that you can make that's going to get you laps or push-ups? What's the one thing that he's tough on y'all about?
Shot go up, not getting back on defense. If you a certain position on the floor, if a shot go up, you got to get back on defense.
Bossing out for the rebound. If you don't boss out, and let your man go straight to the rim, you will be getting fussed at.
I'd say just effort. Just effort. No, rebound and playing defense. Diving on the foot for loose balls, not playing hard. That'll get you fussed at.
That sounds like hard-nosed basketball.
That's right.
That's right. Old school.
Old school.
That's right.
Old school.
Very good. Very good. Coach, we talked about the Elite Eight run. Talk about, I kind of asked the last team this. I asked the players, what does it take to take that next step this year for this club, getting past the Elite Eight and even into the state championship?
I think just the day in and day out work ethic. I'm always challenging these guys to a player-led team the player-led teams are the best teams. So what do your day-to-day look like? Do you always have to have a coach in the gym for you to put extra work in? Do you always have to have someone to bring film to you, or you get out and you challenge yourself and watch film and get ready for the next opponent? So just having that group, that gets along. You have multiple guys that want to get in the gym. They want to grow their IQ. They want to grow their skill level, and they're just hungry for the game. I think this can be that group. But every day the challenge is, just keep getting 1% better every day. And then once you look back on it and it's January, February, and it's playoff time, if you've done that day in and day out, I think the results will just take care of themselves.
Yeah. Well, talk about your relationship with Coach Floyd. I'm sure you guys are big football fans, and I know that they're big basketball fans. Talk about y'all's relationship, and to that point, do you have some guys that might be coming that are going to give these guys some minutes?
So some of the big name guys on that football program, they'll bring that championship pedigree into our locker room when they get done, and I'm speaking the championship already.
That's okay.
Christian Bennett.
We are too.
Christian Bennett, he's a big fella. He's the left tackle. Christian Bennett, Caleb Emerson, and Carter Barnes. Carter Barnes, this is his first year going out to play football. He's been a basketball-only guy up until this point. One of our really good junior basketball players. So bringing those three guys back into our team in December, whenever they come back, that's going to be huge for us.
Yeah.
So I think those guys will come in and contribute right away.
You counting down the 5 weeks?
Oh, yeah.
Until they come back.
I'll be at every football game.
Yeah.
Just as soon as they get done and get that trophy, I'll get them to practice.
Well, you got your eye on anybody on the team that you're like, I might like to see this guy out here?
We have a few. Clay-Chalkville, we always have athletes.
Yeah.
We always going to have athletes, and some of them I'm wild. They just walk through the hallway, and I'm just like, man, you don't play basketball, you don't do anything. But we just breed athletes at Clay-Chalkville. So but those three guys, they're special. In a time to where people don't feel like you can play two sports very efficiently. So, but those are two that I think can play all the way out and be collegiate football or basketball players on the next level.
Wow, that's awesome.
Right. Cool.
Coach, we're going to close it out. We only had space for three guys up there, DeMar Thomas and Xavier. But we've got one other guy that you brought with us. Well, let's bring him up and let him say hello.
Jaden Carson, senior on Clay-Chalkville's basketball team. We couldn't fit him on the stage. You come up here with us.
Yeah, he's too big to fit on the stage.
Yeah, he's a big old guy. We're just going to let you pop in here and say hi so you can get you duck down.
Duck down a little bit.
Yeah, all right.
So talk about him a little bit, Coach.
This is our senior forward right here. And this is one that I'm so proud of because Jay he's waited his turn. He's developed. He did not play in middle school, so he started in freshman, and now he's gotten to where he'll be our starting forward, and I just expect great things from him when you see him on the floor.
Awesome. So. All right. Well, Coach, thank you as always. Guys, you did a great job. We'll be pulling for you. We're not supposed to pull for folks, but Johnny and I, we pull for all our Tribune Land teams.
Yes.
So we will be covering you and pulling for you. But, Coach, thanks for coming up. Guys, thank y'all for coming up. We appreciate it. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Whether it's a sports injury, life injury, or debilitating pain, soon you will be able to get the care you need when you need it at OS1 Sports Injury Clinic. No more lengthy and costly ER visits or forgoing treatment and suffering until a physician can see you. This spring, you will be able to make an appointment or just walk in to our new location at the Pinnacle in Trussville and get back to living life sooner. Until then, you can always visit our Hoover location. To learn more, visit bettersooner.com or call 205-352-2911. We can't wait to take care of you.
All right, welcome back in. All right, Johnny, it's always good to talk basketball.
Yeah, it is.
Shifting gears.
It's fun.
Football helmet shows us that it's football season. Let's talk a little football. All right, so let's talk about Center Point first. And the Center Point segment is brought to you by Meteor Linda, grocery store over on the Parkway. Head over there. All right, Johnny, this was a little bit of, it was a tough loss for Center Point.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a shocking loss.
Yeah.
So just to let everybody know, they headed over to Woodlawn to the Colonels, and they lost 22-0. And you were on site, so talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was. You know, it's surprising the outcome of this game. The players, the coaches, everybody was pretty fired up at the beginning of the game. You could tell they were kind of feeling the high off of winning the Springville game, and you know, doing backflips and everything. There was a lot of good energy, excuse me, on that team, on that field from Center Point. And then they got into the game, and it wasn't for a lack of big plays. It was for a lack of maybe discipline, or I don't know what you would call it. That you'd have a big play and you would either have a penalty that got it called back, or else you may have a play where they got deep into enemy territory and got on a third down where the snap went over a head. They had a punt snap go over the head. There was a lot of snap issues on that night. You know, Coach Dramel King was very frustrated at the end of the game. You know, so you just kind of have to wonder what happened. The talent looks like it's there. They have big playability. The guys, you know, John Ford being one of them, but Canty, I forget his first name, his last name Canty. He had a great night. He had a lot of tackles on defense. He played well on offense. But for whatever reason, they just couldn't get it into the end zone. And it wasn't like Woodlawn was unstoppable. But they had a couple of drives where, once again, penalties played into it. They got deep into territory, and they set up scoring opportunities. So, you know, shame that they went out that way, because it looked like after that Springville game they caught some traction. Like I said, Coach King was pretty frustrated at the end of the game, and for good reason. You know, they made some mistakes, but I, you know, believe, you know, with the silver lining that we are for all of our teams, we try to be. He's going to get that thing straightened out, and I think they'll be better next year for sure.
Yeah, I definitely think so. So the Eagles end up with a 2-8 record, and like you said, I think Coach King will have a little bit of a different look for the Eagles next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. All right. So let's talk Springville. And the Springville segment is brought to you by CSG Floors and Outdoors. They're over in Odenville by you, Johnny. Give Corey and Tiffany a call at 903-5885. Boy, this was a tough one for the Tigers. This is 2 weeks in a row where they had a lot of points put up against them. It ended up being a 48-14 loss to Corner. And the Coach Metcalf's, his Tigers, they end up with a 1-9 record.
Yeah. You know, in year one, a lot of things are tough for a coach. We got a gentleman sitting in this in the house right now that went 1-9 in his first year, turned it around in his second year. But you know, Coach Metcalf, much like the guy we're talking about, doing things the right way. His kids respect him. They've got young talent there. The Trig Murdoch, Brendan Archer are going to be names that people in Springville talk about for a long time, I truly believe. So, you know, while games like this are tough, we talked about, you know, last week, the referee giving Coach Metcalf's boys a kind of an attaboy for keeping their heads up throughout the whole game, even though they were getting beat pretty good. You know, they just need some more bodies. They need some more experience, and they're going to get that. And I think Metcalf's building a pretty good program there, and they're going to be okay. The 1-9 is not all gloom and doom. They were competitive in some of those games. I think the year just got away from them later on. So maybe some injuries, maybe some, you know, some fatigue from having such a young team. But Springville will rebound as well.
Yeah. And I think it is very difficult to, and we've talked about this all year long with our three teams that have new coaches. It's so difficult to come in, and this was a drastic change in changing the offense.
Yeah.
We know that Coach Metcalf has the pedigree. He's been around a lot of winning programs. He knows how to get it done. It's just going to take time. And you can always count on the Springville fans turning out, no matter if they're 1-9, They're 9-1. Whatever the record is, they're going to turn out. So I think there's a good base. So Springville fans, just hang on. I think Coach Metcalf will definitely get the program back where it needs to be.
Agree.
All right. So let's talk about Shades Valley. Shades Valley, the segment is brought to you by New Day Car Wash. Text DAY to
41136.
All right, and that gets you a free car wash. So I was on site down in Tuskegee as the Mounties took on Booker T. Washington, and the Mounties came out really popping. They were moving the ball. They were able to move the ball through on the ground, through the air. They were up 13-12 over Booker T. Washington, and Booker T. Washington has quite a few athletes. On their current roster, they've got a commit to LSU, a commit to Florida. They had size, they had speed. I think what happened was right before halftime, starting running back goes down with looked to be a knee injury, so he was out. Come out in the third quarter, they lose the quarterback. And so we have Aiden Shackelford, who normally plays wide receiver. He's pressed into action at quarterback. And Booker T. Washington put 3 touchdowns on the board. They end up winning 27-13. The one takeaway that I have from it, there's a lot of takeaways, but the one takeaway I really want to talk about is just how hard Coach Bates had those guys playing. And I've watched Shades Valley pretty closely in recent years, I would say over the last 6 years. And this team, when it was late in the fourth quarter, it was apparent the game was not going to go their way. I'd seen teams in the past give up, and this team did not give up. They were still hitting hard. They were injured. I mean, we've talked about this. We're broken records. I know the viewers are tired of hearing us talk about this, but 39 players, something around there. They're playing both ways. They're banged up, and they were just really, Coach Bates, the guys really were playing hard. And Coach Bates really wanted to make it a special trip for them. A lot of these guys, because over the last few years, they've only played 9 regular season games, so they were shorted a game each year. And so Coach Bates scheduled a 10th game. He knew they weren't going to make the playoffs when it became apparent they were into the season. So he put together an opportunity for the kids to go and do a team building exercise. They were able to go to Alabama State. They were able to practice on the Hornets field, do walkthroughs, things like that. He did a lot of things. So the record is not an indicator. They ended up with a 2-8 record. But I think, and Coach Bates told me himself, things are going to look different next year. And so I think Shades Valley definitely, 2-8's not anything he's embarrassed about. We know Coach Bates. He's mad about it. He's embarrassed about it. But there's no doubt in my mind you're going to see a different Shades Valley next year.
Yeah. I mean, hats off to him. I'm not as close to the program. You're an alumni. You cover him. But, man, just the things that you've told me, the things I've seen on social media that he's doing at that place, you're right. It's gonna look a lot different.
Yeah.
So hats off to him.
Absolutely. So, all right, so we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about our team of the week, our player of the week. We're going to have a guy that came in and sat in and co-hosted with you.
That's right.
A couple of his players. So
the only one to ever do it, I believe.
The one and only.
Yeah.
That's it. All right, well, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
It's Friday night under the lights.
Your hometown heroes are ready to deliver another big win.
And just like the team on the field this year, Dobbsport is ready to deliver a big performance this season.
Whether you're hauling a camper, driving a family vehicle, riding around in a Bronco with the top down, Dobbsport is going to give you the best price, the most for your trade, and the best customer service.
At Dobbsport,
we're proud to support our local teams
and our local families.
So come see us.
All right, welcome back in. Okay, Johnny, let's talk about, we had a couple of 3 games that had a tough ending to them.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this game. Pinson, they headed out to play Hueytown, the Golden Gophers.
The Golden Gophers, the region champs.
The region champs. They went on the road, and the Indians came out with a 48-40 victory.
Yep.
You have been plugged in on this team since spring, maybe even at the end of last year. I guess after the Mountain Brook game last year, you've been really high on the team.
Well, I got plugged in with this gentleman when I reached out to him when he got the job and said, I'd like to come sit in your office. And he, one of the few that I've actually gone in and sat in their office and, talked about coverage for him. So yeah, I've become a bigger Pinson fan now that Coach Thompson's there. And I'm not just trying to blow smoke because he's there, because he's sitting here with us. But the one thing I want to do before we get started, Ray Howard was a starting quarterback on Thursday night, not DeRico Freeman. So I do apologize to Ray, his family, coaches, players. I was at
Johnny has atoned for his sins.
I have. I've tried to make up for it. I even invited Grady Griffin up here, and he denied me. Love you, Grady, Coach. But anyway, what a great game. I went back and watched it. I had to watch it on NFHS because I can't be in two places at one time. And man, what an entertaining game. Now, it may not have been entertaining to Coach Thompson, but it was entertaining to watch. So, Coach, just your thoughts on the game and how you felt after it was over.
Man, so again, a great football game. Really, no team deserved to lose that football game the way that both team plays, and hats off to those guys. But man, again, I'm just proud of our team, proud of our guys, the stuff that they've endured. We've had a lot of games like that this year. So it was nice for us to be able to finish that game there at the end against a really good team who's seeded number 1 going to the playoffs.
Yeah, and for the performance that your team put on, you were the team of the week. So congratulations for that, Coach.
Awesome. Thank you.
And a guy that was a big part of that is our Ortho Alabama Spine and Sports Player of the Week, sophomore running back, Ace Connor. Johnny, 22 carries, 225 yards, and 4 big touchdowns. So congratulations on being our Player of the Week. So also in-house, we have Darius Smith. I think you're a defensive back for the Indians. So welcome in, guys. Thank y'all for coming out tonight. We'll talk about your perspective on the win. It was an exciting win. Man, anytime you can score within 2 minutes to take the victory, that's big time.
Yes, sir. First off, I want to give all glory to God. Without him, I wouldn't be here at all. And I just want to thank him for keeping me focused. I also like to thank the coaches for keeping me focused as well and keeping me in line. I like to thank my O-line for knowing their job and executing, so I could have my job and execute.
That's awesome.
All right.
That's awesome.
Darius?
Last week it was a team victory. Offense did their thing. It was times offense ain't scored, defense had to pick them up. Time defense got scored on, had to pick them up. They had to pick us up. But big thing is we just finished. We came out there, we finished, we ended the season, big victory. That's pretty much.
Coach, both young guys over here. You've got a lot of other young talent. You do lose some key players this year. Talk about who you lose, who we're bringing in, who we should be excited to see for next year.
Well, man, these guys, our team, just the makeup of our team in general, we have a lot of guys that are seniors that have endured everything that has gone on in the program throughout the previous years. And hats off to those guys, man. I told them just today, man, I'm proud of you guys and thank you for, Coach alluded to it earlier here on stage, on set about, the generation that we live in, about kids, wanting to, leave. But those guys stuck it out. And man, it's a process. It's really a process, and what you go through, you want it to expedite so bad, and you have all these expectations, man. But it's really about the journey that you go through, and just having something to pull from in those moments to where you're going through those tough times and those tough games. And just the guys that we have returning, man, we have a huge sophomore class, and the senior class isn't as big, but man, that next class that's about to be juniors are going to pick those guys up and be ready to play, man. Juniors are probably the most locked in group that you have on a team. A lot of times I've heard this before. Freshmen happy to be around. Sophomores, all they want to do is start. A lot of times seniors worried about going to the next level, but a junior is the most locked in player that you could have on the team, probably at both levels, in high school and college. So, man, excited and looking forward to the future. And man, I think we played good football this year. on all three phases. And like I said, a lot of close games there. But again, it's about the journey, and we just got to keep chopping wood, and we will.
Yeah. So, Coach, you talked at media days about last year. And we don't talk about last year, but we're going to say not this past year, but your first year. There were games that you didn't compete in. This year, you wanted to not only compete but win. You were in position to win 3 more games. How about the next step for next year? Talk about how those 3 games, like those 3 games. You talked about the Hueytown game. You were in the same position in that game you were in the other 3. Talk about what it took Thursday night and what it's going to take to just ingrain that in the rest of the team.
I think those same moments, having something to pull from in those moments when you get to those moments, to be able to pull you through. And like you said, just from not being very competitive at all to being very competitive and playing good football, and really feeling like you should have 7 wins there, and playing for a region championship, and those things that we talk about expediting. But you have to have those moments to pull from, when you get to those moments, to be able to look back and say, hey man, this is we've been through this before. Let's get through it. And that was indicative of last Thursday night, being able to pull that game out in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah. Well, Coach, talk about these 2 guys right here specifically. I know you talked about the team as a whole, but talk about these 2 and what they've meant to your team this year.
Man, these guys are, they're 100% guys. They're great kids. They're great kids. We have a lot of great kids, but these are going to be 2 guys, along with a few others, that's going to be leading our football team next year, to be in a position to be able to finally say, okay, here we are. That is a lot of more responsibility that comes with it, but man. Darius, and on the way over here, he's just a 100% guy. He's not very vocal, but a lot of times, he's just a show up, get it done mentality type guy. And the same thing with Ace, Simeon Connor here, man, just a 100% guy who works hard and has bought into what we're doing. So, man, I love those guys to death over there.
Simeon, it hasn't been too many weeks ago, you went down with an injury. You didn't get to play the 2 games prior to the other night. Did those 2 games not playing fuel you for the other night?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Yeah. Talk about I saw a lot of emotion when you were taken out of that Mountain Brook game. Talk about that, kind of go through that a little bit for us.
Yes, sir. So when I first got hit, I felt dizzy, and I was like, I had to come out the game. And I did the concussion test. They said I passed it, but I felt like something went right. So I told the trainer, and I heard him say something about a concussion. And when he said that, I've been through that before in Little League, and I knew I wasn't gonna be able to play. So it just hurt my feelings, and I just couldn't control it.
Yeah, it did. Darius, talk about you practiced against some really good receivers this year, and I asked this question about a lot of positions when we have players up here. Talk about how practicing against T.J. Calhoun and Christian Thomas and R.J. Addison, those guys, how that made you a better player this year.
Yeah, man, it's like they say, iron sharpen iron. Those good receivers, great receiving core. Like, they just push each other. They push us, push DBs to get better, work on our patience, with somebody so shifty like TJ, RJ, all over, just so shifty guys, helping us stay patient, getting us better as DBs. So really, we was really just ready for any receivers, because we already we feel like we got the best of the best receivers. So dealing with those feel like really up to any challenge for her.
Talk about being part of this. Coach is fixing to be in his 3rd year. Talk about being a part of this foundation. I'd like to hear from both of you, this foundation, because it's beginning to look like something great is coming. Talk about being part of the ground floor of that foundation.
Coach Thompson, he's a great coach. He came here. He doesn't only teach us about football, but he also teaches about life. He holds us to a standard. He wants us to be better as people, football players. He just wants us to be great. He pushes us very hard. Yes, sir. I'm grateful to be a part of this team. Coach C is a great coach all around. He's also a great person. He helped me grow in a lot of mental moments. and I just thank him for everything he's done for us and the team as a unit.
High praise, Coach.
Those guys going to have me emotional up here, man.
Well, okay. That's awesome. Well, Coach, congratulations. Your Indians are the Tribune Sports Live Team of the Week. And Ace Connor over there, he's the Ortho Alabama Spine and Sports Player of the Week. Congratulations to y'all.
That is awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, what we're going to do, if y'all don't mind sticking around, we're going to talk a little bit of what we call Bracketology 101 with Colonel Sanders. And I think everybody's probably heard the story of why he is Colonel Sanders. But, Johnny, brackets are a lot clearer right now. Talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, all of our matchups are set in stone. Each, I guess the last 2 times we've done this, it's been like, well, we don't know if this is now we know. So the brackets are all set. First team we're gonna start in 5A with Leeds. They're gonna travel to Briarwood. We talked about this last week. All the games from last week are pretty much the same as this week, but we're gonna go a little more in depth. As we know, Briarwood lost to Leeds. Leeds beat Briarwood 29-28.
Very close game.
Back in September, really close game. Can't get any closer. Leeds sitting at 6-4. Briarwood is 5-5, and I believe they got that top spot in their region.
Yeah, they did.
Leeds got that 4th spot in their region. So it looks to be this is going to probably be our best game of the week. I mean, this is going to be an absolute dogfight between 2 pretty good teams. The common opponent here, I've tried to pick out common opponents for each team. The common opponent here was each other. They've played each other. You don't get much more common than that. So anyway, the winner of this game gets Russellville or Boaz. Our other 5A team we've got is Moody. They were the preseason favorites to win 5A. I think Viger's kind of taken that over in a lot of predictions. So, if the train keeps moving the way it looks like it will, we may get that matchup, and that would be huge. But anyway, Moody gets Corner at home on Friday night. Moody 8-2, Region 6 champs. Corner 7-2, and 4th in their region. Their common opponents were Springville. Moody beat Springville 55-7, and Corner beat Springville 49-14, and Jacksonville. Moody beat them 42-21, and Corner beat them 17-7. So the winner here gets Gunnersville or Priceville. 6A, Clay-Chalkville is hosting Jackson Olin in round 1, and this may be ugly. Jackson Olin, I believe, is 4-6. They got whipped by Alma Bryant on Friday. And so there's no common opponents, and the winner gets Gadsden City or Jasper. And our 7A team, our only 7A team, Hewitt Trussville, 8-2 and 2nd in their region. They're going to host Opelika in round 1. Their only common opponent is Jag. Hewitt won 54-0. Opelika won 59-20 against Jag, and the winner gets Baker or Florence. So that is your Bracketology 101. From Colonel Sanders.
Thank you, Colonel. So let's just transition right into your picks. I mean, we'll make it very nice and concise. And guys, if y'all want to pick with us, if y'all do not want to pick one of the teams, you can just say pass. We completely understand that.
All right, game number 1, and I don't know why. I guess I listed it this way for classification reasons, but game number 1, Leeds at Briarwood. I'm going to go homer status and pick Leeds, and I don't think it'll be a 1-point game, maybe a 3-point game this time. But I am going to. I do feel like Leeds kind of has their number, so I think I'm going to pick Leeds in that one.
Yeah, I think that Leeds probably is a little bit healthier. Now this game is going to be down at Briarwood, so I don't know how much that plays into it. It's really interesting, Johnny, when you look at our 2 5A games that we've got. Briarwood's 5-5. They got the top seed. Corner
7-2
is 7-2, 8-2, something like that. They're the 4th seed. I mean, you would think that it would be swapped. So, just based on what I was saying, I've got to go with the Green Wave in this one.
I'm going to pass on this one. I don't know too much about but I know Tribune Land, just sticking with Tribune Land, but I'll pass.
All right, I like that. Sticking with Tribune Land. What about you guys? You got friends at either of the schools?
No, sir. Pass.
Pass. That's a hard pass.
Hard passes. All right, hard passes all around. All right, Moody versus Corner. I think this is a Moody win. Moody at home. I think Moody's just that good. It may be a closer game than a lot of people want it to be, but you got to have those close games. You got to have those tough wins, and so I think Moody gets this one though by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this. I think probably 2 touchdowns is reasonable in this. I do think it's going to be tight early. We've seen that out of Moody slow starts before they explode.
Yeah.
You just never know with a team like Corner who has really scored a lot of points. So I'm saying 10, 14 point Moody victory in the Bill.
Anything, Coach?
Yep, I think I'm going to pass on that one.
Yep. We passing, guys?
I got Moody.
Yeah, okay.
Moody. All right.
Good deal. All right, we got Clay-Chalkville hosting Jackson Olin, and I don't think this one's going to be anywhere near close. I think Clay is going to whip them badly.
Yeah. As Coach Floyd would say, Clay over everyone.
Clay over
Jackson Olin.
Yeah. Yep.
Those guys have a good team, but I could never pick against our rival. I could never pick our rival to win a playoff game, man. I just can't do it. But those guys have a really good team, man. Coach does a great job over there.
Guys. Pass. Okay. All right. Well, we are not mad at it. All right. Last but not least, Hewitt-Trussville hosting Opelika. I got a Husky Fast big win.
Yeah. I think Hewitt wins. I think because you're looking at the 2-3 basic. I hate using the word seed, but you're looking at a 2-3 matchup here. Opelika plays in a really, really tough region.
Yeah. Central on those guys, right?
Yeah, it's a tough region. I think Hewitt gets the win, but I think it's going to be a close game.
Yeah.
I really do.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm right along the lines with you with that one. I think that's going to be a really good matchup between those 2 teams right there. I'm not sure who's going to pull it out, but I think that's going to be a really good game.
Anything, guys?
Same over here. Like, it's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
I think I got
Y'all got to see Hewitt as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Hewitt.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I think Hewitt got that one.
Okay.
All right, guys.
That's it.
Thank y'all for picking with us and everything. And look, we're going to have everyone on site. I'm going to be at Hewitt. You're going to be
Moody.
You're at Moody. We've got Brittany at Clay and
Henry Will.
Henry will
be at Leeds.
That's right.
Well, at Briarwood.
That's right. So, all right, guys. So what we're going to do, as always, go to us. We put one post out on Facebook. We put another post out on X. We try to update, under the comments, we try to update scores, highlights. We don't always accomplish that because we're trying to keep up with the games to be able to write the stories. But on Facebook, for instance, if you go to comments, you can sort it where it will go in a chronological order. X is a little clearer to do that.
Yeah.
Johnny will put a post out. I'll put a post out. Hopefully between both of us, you'll be able to see everything. Big weekend. We're super excited about it. And again, apologies for the internet connection error that we had last week. I guess this is now the 3rd or the 4th week that we're out on YouTube.
Yeah.
We're in the process of putting up an Instagram account.
Yeah.
So we're trying to branch out a little bit. But as always, Instagram, Trussville Tribune Facebook page, TrussvilleTribune.com, and then give us a little bit of time. It goes up on Vimeo. So that's it. The regular season in the books. Coach Thompson, thank you for coming in.
Man, it's always great hanging out with you guys.
Hey, I always love it. Guys, thank y'all so much and congratulations. You are more than welcome. Absolutely. All right, Johnny, we'll close it out.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
It's Friday night under the lights.
Your hometown heroes are ready to deliver another big win.
And just like your team on the field this year, Domsport is ready to deliver a big performance this season.
Whether you're hauling a camper, driving a family vehicle, riding around in a Bronco with the top down, Domsport is going to give you the best price, the most for your trade, and the best customer service.
At Dobbs Ford,
we're proud to support our local teams
and our local